Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today I'm doing a Thrifty Connects video. And look at this beauty on my desk. I am now officially a collector of guillotine cutters. This is my third one thrifting. So, no, this is my second one thrifting. I have one great big one. So when I found my other wooden one, if you've seen that video, I got it for $10. And then this one, even though it's marked $10, they had a half price sale. And this was at Daisy's again. This is the thrift shop that is in Riverview. If you ever have a chance to go, it's a fun store. They have housewares and clothing and pretty much everything that most thrift shops have. And some great, interesting products and good prices. And, you know, every while, well, the two times that I've been there, I've hit the half price sales. So really happy about that. And this is one of the pieces that I got from there. So yeah, $10. I got it for $5. Wasn't sure if it was going to work perfectly. I tested it there. It seemed okay, but I brought it home and tested it, and it cuts like butter. Oh my goodness. So this one is a 12 by 12 inch cutter. It's an X-Acto. So for $5, these things run about $150 in Canada, brand new. What's really surprised me is I turned it over, and the original locking mechanism is attached here. I don't think this person used it very often. The little feet aren't dirty. The blade is very, very sharp. It has all its parts. It even has the lock here to lock the blade, so you can pick it up by the handle. It's very lightweight and easy to carry around. So this will be probably my second choice because it will cut 12 by 12 paper. My big guillotine goes up to 15 inches. So this one cuts 12 by 12, and the little wooden one that I bought is 10 by about 10 and a half. So that one is good to have on my desk for small little cutting things. But, you know, as I need for bigger paper, like the 12 by 12 and bigger sheets yet, that's perfect for this, definitely. So I'm excited about this find. You know, I'm going to now have a stack of guillotine cutters, but I use them, so I don't have any issue with that at all. So I'm going to put that aside. Now, when I was thrifting these things, I was with Nancy and Angie, and they are from the, well, Angie is from the Sussex Dairytown Market, and Nancy is from the St. John Flea Market. And I met Angie when I set up my shop, and when I had a little booth at the market. And so got to know her, and then she introduced me to Nancy at the flea market. And Nancy is a picker and picks for Angie, and she was picking for me for our shops. So we would go to the flea market, and she'd have different stuff for each of us, and not too much crossover. Angie and I have different tastes and different likes. So it was a perfect friendship. So when I left the market, Angie was so disappointed, and she wants me to come back, but I'm not going back. I'm focusing on YouTube and my creative side. But at least I can go with these gals now and pick for Angie, pick for myself, help Nancy find things for her booth. So it's just fun all around. And our tastes are so completely different. So that makes it really, really fun. So we hit all different types of thrift shops. We did the Salvation Armies, the little thrift shops that are, you know, the little town ones. So everything is kind of mixed up together. So hopefully I can remember where everything came from. I do have the best for the last today that is just going to blow you away. I know all of you are going to love this one for sure. So we went to, let's just see here. We went to the Mission Thrift shop, and I got these playing cards. Hope you can see that okay. And they are, I'm going to find some scissors to cut this open, or a blade or something. Were 2 packs for $1.99, and I will use these no problem. If I can get them open to show you, I don't know. I should have pre-opened it, but I didn't. Here we go, I see now. All right, now it's coming. No, I'm going to probably knock the whole thing open, but at least we'll get there. All right, open. So the first thing when I get a set of playing cards, I will have to go through them, of course, and I will pick out the jokers for myself if I can find them. These are in, you know, a little bit more distressed shape around the edges, but the images are sweet. It's kind of an oriental teapot and plate, and then this is a plate and a little vase. So these will be really nice to tuck into journal pockets and to collage with and do all kinds of fun things on the side with playing cards. My latest thing is to use these as bases for making business cards for both myself and for Angie. I've got a couple of mine on the table here. Mine change all the time. It's whatever I have on the table. Is how I make my business cards. So I had made these ones with just some fabric and just sewed some lace scraps on, and this fabric was already embroidered. And then these ones don't even have a playing card on the back. They have cardstock and then my personal information. But I had made a bunch for Angie with teacups, and what I did is I glued the teacup image onto the back of a playing card. You can just barely see it on the back here, and this is all Angie's information. I just stitched that on and then shabby decorated them from there using all my little scraps, little roses and whatever I have handy. So I think I may keep some of these to use for Angie, where I will then use this as the image on the card and then just build it up around from that point of view. So either way, these cards will get used up and played with, and for $1.99, that's $1 a package. That's pretty good to me. So that'll check that. And because I'm making Angie, I'm just going to leave this in case I needed to open something. Because I make these things for Angie, it's not like a real business card, right? She's more selective as to who she gives these to, but it's the type of business card that people hang on to because it's unique and different. It's not just a little piece of paper that can just get tossed in the garbage. So when she gives them out to her customers, she knows that this is going to bring her customer back in the store because they're looking for china. She specializes in vintage china and teacups and stuff. So she knows that this is going to get her even more business. And this is a business card that, you know, like I said, people hang on to that. They don't throw it away. So if you are doing some sales and you want to make business cards, why not do something like this? And I've actually done a video months ago, well, maybe even a couple years ago now, on doing this type of business card so that, you know, it stays with the person and it is more representative of the work that you do and, you know, the type of business that you're in. Just an idea. So because I do that for her, when I went to see her at the market and drop off her business cards, she had given me a whole bunch of stuff that she had. So there was this bouquet of flowers, and I will rinse them off. They look a little bit dusty. She probably got them at a flea market or garage sale or something. But all of these flowers I will pick off individually. I'm not going to do it for now because I want to wash them all first. But I will pick them off individually and use them. I like that they have that antique look to them and that vintage color. So I will use these in my own creations. So she gave me that. And then she gave me a bunch of doilies that were either imperfect or she had them in the shop for a while. This one she gave me, it's soiled and it's got some stains on it, but I like it because, you know, these are all perfect little doilies that I can cut out. Now she was charging $5, but she just gave them to me. And so it's all perfect little doilies that I can cut out to use in my artwork and in my journal making. So she gave me lots of different doily things. Like there's this bag. And these are all very delicate little doilies that I can use for my flower making or for my journals or for making pockets or tuck spots or clusters. So love those. And she had this one sad little hanky. or I think it's a hanky. It's got lots of tear marks in it. And what I thought I would do is probably cut it into 4, so it would look like this size, you know, if I cut it. And then I would back it onto a piece of cardstock and then make, you know, a side tuck pocket for a journal with this. So easy way to use that and easy way to fix it, because it is in very distressed shape. I don't know if you can see the holes in here. So I don't even want to risk putting this through the wash. It doesn't smell. No, it doesn't smell. It smells like the shop, like the market. So I don't even want to risk washing it because I don't think it would survive. You know, I could maybe hand wash it, but it's very, very delicate. I think it would rip very easily if I just tugged too hard. And then now this one she gave me, I think, and then the little ones. Yeah, there was one I bought from her. She gave me a really good price on it anyway. They all have a little bit of staining in them, but they're such intricate placemats. And so I can cut these up into sections. I can use them for tag making or for a page in a journal or flips. Just gorgeous pieces to work with. So that's another one that I'll be playing with. There's quite a few. I think I bought a few and then she gave me the rest of them. Whatever they were. Oh, she's got here 2 for $5. So I didn't pay. I think I paid $5 for the whole bunch, and then I think she threw a couple in. And then these doilies she also gave me, very delicate again, great for our journal work. There is some staining, so you can see that that's, you know, she can't really easily sell it. And then I thought these were kind of neat. I don't think they're old. They're just crocheted little squares, and I thought those would make beautiful little pockets on the front and back of a journal if you want to add it as an extra on the outside. So, you know, maybe with a little bit of backing underneath or some pretty cardstock, sewn down to some pretty cardstock first to give it a little bit more durability. But I thought they would be nice, and I've got, 2, 4, 6 of them, so I could easily do these on 3 journals because that's almost the perfect size. So that was all my goodies from Angie. So thank you so much, Angie. I will enjoy using those. And sometimes she finds scrapbook paper for me, or, you know, little bits of linen. She had a woman one time who sold her in a whole estate of dishes and housewares. And the woman didn't have enough packing paper, and before Angie got there, because Angie usually brings her own packing paper when she goes to these sales, but before she even got there, the woman tore apart quite a few beautiful embroidered tablecloths into 12 by 12 inch squares to put in between the plates so that the plates wouldn't break. Angie was horrified, but she gave me a big, huge stack. I've already put them away a long time ago, but she gave me a big, huge stack of these embroidered pieces that she said she just tore all these tablecloths up to use for that. And we couldn't find a stain anywhere on these things. So it was really sad, but good for me. So then in our thrifting, now this was at the Mission Thrift Shop, and it was 49 cents. And it is a package of mulberry paper. Now the package says that it comes with 48 sheets. I'm sure that there is not much missing, if any. It looks like one sheet is folded here, but there are lots, and there's the cardboard in the center, but there are lots of different colors. Great for journal pages. So this was a score at 49 cents. And then these were 99 cents each. So they were another score. They're called cashier's books. So it's in French. It's graph paper and lovely paper that I'll be able to work with. Gorgeous. So I got 3 of them at 99 cents each. I'll probably give one to Jen and Deb to share, and then keep the others for here. This was at another little thrift shop. Now I can't remember the name of it, but it was also in Riverview. Just this cute little sequin purse. There is one spot that I have to do some stitching. Oh yeah, here, this one is coming loose. So I'll have to fix that little sequin right there. But otherwise it's in really good condition. It's not super, super old, but the fact that it says made in Hong Kong says that it's definitely over before 1990, because 1990 I think was when the 100-year lease was up for England. So Hong Kong no longer existed after 1990. I think that's when it was, right? And inside here, there was a little pin, and somebody had stamped their name. So it's W. Cloutier, and they lived on Highfield Street in Moncton, New Brunswick. So how this ended up there, I have no idea, but it's a lovely little purse. You know, it's got some staining on the inside, but otherwise it's really, really sweet. I collect them for the most part. You know, like I know that Thelma has taken a couple, I think. Val took one when she was here. So sometimes when I have them and somebody else wants them, I just pass them on. But I just love them. They look nice in my studio all together, and I kind of collect them, but I also gift them. So. And then this was a really great find. These were 25 cents each at the very same thrift shop. So I got 6 of them, and they are lace appliques. And I'm going to dye these now in fancy colors. This comes 2 in a package. Here's 2. These ones are beautiful. Love these. And then there's these ones. And this one. And I don't think they're old. Dollarama. So Dollarama had them at one time or another, but for 25 cents each, I thought that was pretty good. And then once I take them off, this is a beautiful kind of a purpley periwinkle sort of color background that I can very easily cut up into tag shapes and probably get 4 to 6 tags out of here easily. Or going this way, 1, 2, 3, yeah, about 4 tags. So that's a win-win when you look at this stack here, and the tags will be ready to go for other projects. So love that. And then this was at the Salvation Army thrift shop, and just a beautiful beaded, I guess it's a necklace, but I think it must have broke or something. And I know, Thelma, I know what you're saying. Window dangle, window dangle. Yes, that's exactly what it's going to be. So I'm just going to undo it here because I think it's pretty easy to take it apart. I think it's easy enough to take apart. Well, maybe not, but I know it's just knotted at the bottom here. So it's a good length of beads. I'm sure it will be the perfect size for a window dangle. I paid $2.99 for it. I would have got 10% off for Senior's Day, I think, for that one. So yeah, we did visit a couple of Salvation Army thrift shops. Back to the Mission thrift shop. This was $2.99 for the package. And I'm pretty sure there's either 50 or 100. Let's see if I can see it underneath this tag. Maybe it'll show me. No, I just ripped it off. Well, there's either 50 or 100 of these felt squares. It is in navy blue, so you know it's not like I can use it on under light colors for doing journals, but they're 9 by 12. So that makes a perfect journal cover with a 1-inch spine. You can get 1.5 inch if you're doing a lot of trim and decorating on the outside. So yeah, perfect. Oh, here, I think it is open here. So maybe they've taken out one. Doesn't say how much. Yeah, I can't read it. But yeah, so 1 folded in half is a perfect size for a journal cover. What I use these for is to back underneath fabric. Just to give it a little bit more of a pillowy feel to it. And then it either gets added on to sometimes an envelope if I want a soft cover journal, or cardboard, or even a chipboard, or even an actual book, a hardcover book. If I have a book that's not in great shape or not a great design, then I will back it with that. But this is kind of the cushion underneath my fabrics that I use. But yeah, I am limited to the darker colors, but it is nice to have a whole package of them already cut up, and because I have felt, but mine is, I have to cut everything. So it's nice to have these felted squares. And I paid $2.99 for it, so well worth it for that purchase. Back to, where was this? This was in Salvation Army. I'm going all over the place here because I got to save the best for the last. This was 99 cents. It is just, you know, that stationery you buy in a package. There are 25 sheets, 60 pounds. That's a good weight. So it's like a cardstock almost. So the price here is $4.50, but I paid 99 cents for it. So I'm pleased with it. It's great for doing like a woodlands journal or anything where you don't want something gardeny or woodsy. Love it. And then these I got for 99 cents each. So yes, Jen and Deb, if you want one, please let me know. They are columnar pads. It's an unusual green color. Usually they're not quite this bright of a green. But I really like the color, and again, this will be very nice in a woodlands journal or a forest type journal, or well, any kind of journal actually. It's great paper for that, and no extra coloring to do. It's already got the color. So I have 5 of them. So Jen and Deb, let me know if you want one. It's yours. I just said, oh yeah, somebody's gonna want one of these. Now these are really bright green, but I'm wondering if this is like, no, it's the same green. It just looks different when you hold them up this way. They look just a slight shade different, but they are pretty close. So there's that. Then, now I don't know how well these are going to work, but that's okay. This was $3.99. I got it at the Salvation Army, and they are Stampin' Up! Pads. Do try to save the bags, so and I just got them. Yeah, it looks like they do work. There's some bleeding coming out of here. I really just got them for the pad itself, and I didn't open them up to know exactly what they're like, but this one is called Almost Amethyst. Every time I open these things, I get ink on me. It looks like it's pretty juicy. That's wet on the top there. So that's a really nice color. I don't have this color of ink pad. I have, you know, some purple inks. So if they're too dry to use them the way they are, then I will use whatever color of purple I have, because, you know, there are no favorites and I don't care. I will just add it to the pad, and if it comes out darker purple the first time and lighter purple the next time, that's okay by me, because it's not like I'm making cards or anything where I have to be precise and match paper and everything else that goes with it. So I use it the way it is if it's still juicy enough, or I will add to it with whatever color I have. And like I said, never fails. I think these are the older ones, so this looks like it's pretty juicy too. It's wet on the top there, so oh yeah, it's pretty good. So I will test the colors out and see how they look. Yeah, I never quite got this. There we go. And then here is the pink, and it looks like it leaked a little bit. It's called Melon Mambo. Now I've got ink on my fingers. Melon Mambo, yeah, is the color. All right, let's see. This one's a little bit stuck. Yeah, it looks pretty. Oh yeah, it's very juicy. Okay, just gotta grab a wet one here. Oh, don't have one. I moved it over. Yeah, it's very juicy. Not going to open it any further. You get the point, and you can see the color. So I will have to clean this up. And oh, the joy of being a crafter, right? As long as I don't get ink on anything else, I'm okay. Try and wipe off a little bit more. Okay, that should be good. Okay, put that aside. This was a steal of a deal. I got the whole bouquet for $4. And so again, these are all flowers that I can pull the heads off. Just pull one off to show you. Take off the plastic bits. And these are great flowers to use for our journals. You can stack 2 or 3 together to give yourself a little bit more dimension. So I can add 2 together like that. And then there's a small one here. And use that one in the center. Take this little plastic piece off. Oh, some of them are hard to do. There we go. And then I can either just stitch them together or put a brad in the center or something and create a really pretty dimensional flower that I can use on my journals. We use a lot of stuff on our journals, don't we? Yeah, I was looking around today thinking, yeah, I gotta really get busy, Kim. Jen and Deb aren't going to take everything from me, but it makes a really pretty flower. So yeah, good score on these. They are clean, they're in good shape, so I will enjoy using these all. These ones here I'll probably use more as a leaf base, but when I start playing with these things, I will bring you along to see how I use them. Now the other thing is these come with these big, I know you're saying yuck. I first of all take this plastic right off these leaves, and I'll bring you along for the ride on this one when I'm doing them. But this leaf I will put in my tin tray and use a tin utensil of some kind. Usually I use a skewer. Let's just see, I have one handy here. Well, I don't have a metal skewer, but usually I use a metal skewer, not a wooden one. So I will lay it down like this on a metal tray or on a piece of glass, not on a thing like this. And I do this outside. And I will use my heat gun and melt these leaves. And what happens is when you're melting right over top and you're holding this part in place, is all of this will start to curl up and scrunch up and will give you this really vintagey looking wrinkled leaf. And then I will do things like dry brush it with gold paint or add some beads or pearls and those types of things in there to make a fun leaf that I can stitch into my slow stitching or put with a big bunch of flowers together to create a little collage. So when I'm doing this batch in particular, I will bring you along for the ride so that you get to see the whole process and see how I put these things together after, because you will be pleasantly surprised. Now, I got these are very clean. I've checked them, I've smelt them, I've done all kinds of tests on them. They are very, very clean. But sometimes you find them and they are so filthy, dirty, you think, ugh, they're just garbage. Don't give them up right away. First of all, if you're taking them apart, it really doesn't matter if they fall apart. But I wash them in the sink with a really good amount of dish soap, and maybe a little bit of extra stuff like Mr. Clean or something a little bit extra. I don't want a product name because I don't use Mr. Clean, but that kind of product where it's like all-purpose cleaner. That's what I wanted. So I will mix that in there because it's got a little bit more strength and a little bit more scent. So if they do have a musty smell or a grungy home smell, that dusty smell, it will take it away. And then I just drain them in my other sink until they're reasonably dry, and I fluff them up a few times as I go by them. And then I will store them in an open tray until they're fully dry. And then they are all parts and pieces that you can use for your journal making. So as I said, if you find them and they're dusty and dirty, wash them. It's really easy. Just wash them in a sink with the solution I gave you there. And then come along with me for the ride and we will play with these again. I think I've done it a couple of times with you guys. I'm not sure, but we will play with these again and make some really fun and interesting flowers. So that is my big flower thing to show you there. Now, I always, when I go thrifting, I always ask the girls, what is the color of the day that you're looking for? What is the product of the day that you're looking for? Because I always tell you that the universe gives you what you need, not necessarily what you want. And so we had that Nancy and Angie was looking for, she wanted some teacups and she found, excuse me, Nancy had no real vision. She always looks for linen, so she had no real vision as far as color or anything. But so they were asking me, and I said, I'm on a mission for purple. And the thing is that Deb is on a mission for purple. Jen is on a mission for purple. And a couple of the other girls that I've talked to everybody's looking for purple these days. And yeah, I have a couple of purple journals to do. So yeah, I've been looking for purple, and my purple stash has really gone down a lot. So one of the things I said I had to do, and you know, I just casually told the girls that I needed purple stuff. But in my mind, I was thinking, oh, I should go to the store and pick up some purple dye to dye some laces. And so it's been on my mind to do that. And the very first thing I found in the thrift shop for 99 cents was a package of purple dye. Do you think it's something I'm supposed to do? Do you think? Just for a second there. So yeah, this is now going into the pile to do some dyeing, and I've been gathering laces, gathering trims, and getting things ready. So I'm going to be doing a big bath of purple dye fabrics and laces. So that should be fun. Jen and Deb, I will do some for you at the same time, so you can pick through when I've got them done, and you can get some from me as well. I may also throw some of these flowers into that same dye bath. So again, I will pick all of these apart, and they will go into the same dye bath to dye flowers. The only thing that you have to be aware of when you're, now I just follow the instructions. You know, I will make a big pot of hot dye and mix it all together, and eventually what's going to happen is, you know, the first couple of dyes will be quite intense in color because it's getting the full dye color. And then as you put things in more and more, because I'll dye several rounds, it will get lighter and lighter, but that's okay. So then I may not have purple like as dark as this. I may have more of a, you know, like a lilac color or lighter. And then I will also dye some paper. I will use that dye bath until there is no liquid left or no color left. And I have done that with I did it with shade of blue one time. I used it all until there was absolutely no color left in the dye at all. It had a light blue look, but nothing was picking up the color. Anything white still looked white when I took it out of the dye bath. So it will eventually get lighter, lighter, lighter. And also to keep in mind, excuse me, when you're dyeing with this dye, that every fabric, every silk flower, every piece of ribbon, every piece of trim, doily, whatever you're putting in it is going to take the dye differently. But it will give you nice shades and hues of those colors, and you know, then you can do, you know, a collection of them. But just be prepared that not everything is going to dye the same and hold the color the same way. And it also depends if you're using white doilies or ivory doilies, if it's cotton or synthetic, they all handle the dye differently. But it's still fun, and the results are always fun, because it's not like we can find purple everything. Although I've been lucky, I did find lots of purple lace. But you know, some things are a little harder to find. So this is going to be fun. And like I said, the universe gave it to me, so I know I am supposed to do this. Firm believer in that. We stopped at Frenchie's on the way home. I'm still saving the best for the last. It was at the Salvation Army thrift shop. But we stopped at Frenchie's on the way home, and I got two outfits. This one is beautiful. It's kind of an orangey yellow, and look at the trim on the bottom. It's just in the front, not the whole back or the whole dress, but all of these. Now I can cut this out in sections, so I can use just this as an applique, or I can make this one long trim because it is quite long. It's about 20 inches, I would say. Maybe 24. It might be 24. I don't have a measuring tape in front of me. But these appliques here can all be cut out. All of these little ones here can be cut out. And then there's different ones all the way through the front of the dress, all the way up to the top. They almost look like little pineapples, but they're flowers with a little set of leaves on the top. The dress is cotton, so I will be able to use all this material afterwards. The price, are you ready? $3.99. And it comes with a very light cotton lining. Not like the other linings that are more meshy, but this is a very light cotton. So it will tear very nice and fringe very nice, and have lots of different appliques that I can use to play with. So $3.99, that was a steal. Love this one. I love these gold appliques. There's all kinds of little rhinestones in here, so that'll be a great fun project to take that apart. And then Nancy found this one for me, and I may have not taken it because I'm not a huge navy blue person, but it's time I started doing some navy. I've got a few projects in mind, and I think this one was also $3.99. It has some appliques on the sleeve. This almost looks like turtles, sort of, to me. That's what I see right away, is turtles. And some little appliques there, very light fringe. There are sequined appliques, I hope you can see those, on here that are quite nice. So I can cut this out to use for something. The whole front is, like it's sewn right into here, and then there's these pearls sewn right on, or no, these are glued on. They're flat back pearls that are glued on, so I can cut this into to use for trim, or in my slow stitching or something, where I can use a whole piece of it. And because they're glued on, I don't have to worry too much about them falling off, but the little sequins will fall off. Wherever you cut it, those are going to come off. But it again was, I think, $3.99 or even $2.99. The bonus on this one is that it has a very nice lining that is like a sari silk. It's probably more of a polyester blend, but it is a very nice fabric, and this will tear very nicely. So that's the whole lining on the inside. And the back is kind of like, the material is kind of I want to say chiffon. It's kind of a chiffon crepe feel to it, so it will tear pretty nice, and definitely usable. Like, it'll have a nice frayed edge when I take it apart. I will take it apart in between the appliques that I cut out, and then any scrappy bits will definitely get used up for my scrappy sewing. Along the bottom, on the back of the skirt, is this scalloped trim that I can just cut right off at the edge of the dress here and use that. I hope you can see it. I'll just stick my hands under here. Very pretty, very sequiny. So I could see, again, using this on a journal cover to maybe trim along the bottom or even trim along the top. It might be interesting. Would make really cute pockets, little tiny pockets. So there's lots of possibilities there. And the material, again, is, like I said, a very light crepe chiffon. Not quite chiffon, but kind of a crepey feel to it. So yeah, interesting fabric. Not my first choice, but when Nancy brought it to me, I thought, you know what, for $3.99, I can certainly get my money's worth out of this. So just another garment to cut up, but I will be happy to put it to use. So then comes the last for the best. How am I doing for time here? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Okay, so we are at the thrift shop, and if you've seen my recent post on Facebook, I talk about how to find Edith Holden books and stuff like that by looking at the spine of the book, and you know, I have it memorized in my head. I can usually find them pretty easy, and I am very successful in finding fabric books and flower books and all kinds of things or not fabric, Edith Holden books and flower books that, you know, I have plenty. I don't even need any more. But I always scan the books because, you know, there's always somebody who would like to have an Edith Holden book that I'd like to give one to. Oh, I just noticed this dress also has mirrors on it. I don't know if you can see the mirrors. So that must be on the front side. So when I scan the books, I look at the spines and I scan along the whole bookcase and up and down all the way to the bottom. I don't even concern myself whether it's sports or biographies or world books, because, you know, people put books down in the wrong spot all the time. So I just kind of do a visual scan layer by layer down the whole section, and I move over to the next section and do the same thing. So there are keywords I always look for. There are certain colors I always look for that I can gravitate to, and I can usually pull those kinds of books off the shelf. But this book in particular threw me off guard because I was in the French section. So I don't speak French. I mean, I know a few words. You know, I could get myself out of a situation, I think. I can understand more than I can speak, but, you know, I could say a few things in broken French that might get me a meal and get me out of trouble. So when I found this word, it was like, I know that word. And then I thought, wait a minute, I know what that word is. And so I pulled it off the shelf. And so here's the word. Now, I don't know how you say it. Champignon? I don't know. That's mushrooms. This was $3.99. And I pulled it off. Now it's in rough shape. Cover's in really, really rough shape. Brenda, you're about to start drooling. A little bit of staining. But there are you ready for this? I think it is, let's see if I can find the first one first. It is image number 66. They are all mushroom plates through this whole entire book. And they are just sort of barely glued down to the page. And I don't know if it's this side or the other side explains about the mushroom. So these pages all come off that I can use in my journal. I just have to do a little bit of tugging and you know, maybe some trimming. But the paper only has the image number on the one side. It's a very nice, heavy cotton weight. It's in French. It's a book about mushrooms, so there's nothing bad that I have to worry about. But this paper will also go through the printer really nicely. It's larger than 8.5 by 11, so I will have to trim it down. We'll make beautiful envelopes. We'll make beautiful imagery that I can put through the computer, and it is all mushrooms, one after another. I'm just going to show you. Are you drooling yet, Brenda? Brenda loves mushrooms. Don't worry, I will be sending you some of these, not the whole book because it's too heavy, but I will be sending you some images of mushrooms. Aren't they just gorgeous? There's no way I can use them all, but I will enjoy picking what I want and sharing the rest with everybody else. There are just so many. But isn't that beautiful? I'm just giving you a quick flip through here. And gorgeous, gorgeous images ready to use. But here's the but. Right next door was volume 2. So when I saw volume 2, I knew right away. And so what a great find. I will just flip through really quickly. Again, great pages, but there are so many fun images to use. Lovely colors, just crazy how gorgeous these images are. So now when you are out scanning through the books. And like I said, you look for those key words. And when you're scanning through the books, keep your eye out for mushrooms. You might find an English version or just the French version. I don't know. But they were $3.99. I would have got my 10% senior discount from the Salvation Army thrift shop. And so, yeah, I had to scoop them both. And luckily for me, Angie and Nancy are not junk journalers. So they just went, oh, nice find, and walked on. They could care less because the books are not in pristine condition to resell either. So from a seller's point of view, they're just not interested. Well, it was like my start the car moment. I was so excited to find these and excited to share these with you today. So that's it. That's all from my Thrifty Canucks video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what was your favorite item. Of course, there's this. I think this and my purple dye really was really the most for me. Although the guillotine cutter is nice too. But these were my absolute two favorites of the day. So thank you, Nancy and Angie, for a fun time thrifting with you. They bought different stuff. You know, I barely saw half the stuff they bought. But yes, so if you enjoyed it, let me know what you thought you enjoyed the most. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Have a very creative day and a creative week. Bye for now.